collab with BBNO Money twice in 1 week. Here's what happened. Hi everyone, it's Anarchy. So I just had one of the busiest cosplay weeks of my life where I did 2 big cosplay things. I was in BBNO Money's 151 Pokemon collab, and I was also in the TwitchCon cosplay show, which was also hosted by BBNO Money. This was not planned. I want to make that clear. I did not know BBNO Money before this, and I ended up with 2 things with him in the same week. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to explain a little bit of how that happened, but I don't know how that happened. So, I applied to be in the cosplay showcase ages ago. I was in it last year, and I did okay. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know what it was, so when I did it, it was like a new experience. I didn't think I did that well.
Shut up.
And I wanted to redeem myself, so my plan was to cosplay my VTuber and do the next one. That's why I made the cosplay of my VTuber. There's a video about it. You can watch it on this channel. I mean, also, I just wanted to do it, but one of the reasons I did it on stream, and also why I took pictures of it, and why I did it specifically back then on those days, was because I wanted to submit it to the TwitchCon so I could be in the cosplay showcase, and they needed you to be done with the cosplay and have photos of yourself in the cosplay to submit for the showcase. So I did that. And then I didn't hear back from TwitchCon for a long time. They were kind of like kicking the ball down the road saying like, you haven't been selected yet, but you also haven't been rejected. So don't buy your ticket yet. And then another email saying, okay, you still haven't been selected or rejected, but you should buy your ticket just in case they sell out. And then another update saying, hey, we're still working on this. And then eventually I just figured, okay, I don't know if this is happening. So I just stopped worrying about it and just kind of moved on. We're gonna put a pin in that. Then I was at an event with a bunch of like Twitch VTubers, and I saw Miss Lala, and Miss Lala was like, oh right, you cosplay. And I was like, yes, I do. And she was like, there's this big collab that BBNO Money is doing where he's trying to get 151 cosplayers to be the original 151 Pokemon. There's a list of Pokemon you could pick from. Let me know if you want to be a part of it. I think it'd be really cool. And I was like, okay, cool. I looked at the list. My first pick was Magmar. I was gonna make a dress that looked like a Selkie dress and dye it different colors to make it look like layers of fire, and then also have like leather thigh-high boots and like leather spikes everywhere. I had like a really clear plan for what I was gonna do for Magmar, and then Magmar got taken. And I had already actually ordered stuff for Magmar, so I had to return all that. But like, I ordered everything too early because I didn't know when this was or when it was happening, and I was like, I want to make my cosplay early so I'm not crunching. That actually did end up working. I only crunched one thing. I looked at the list again and I saw Ammonite, and I was like, oh, Ammonite with the tentacles. I could do dreads and like a mermaid thing because it's a water Pokemon. That might be cool. And I basically got stuck on tentacle dreads as a concept, and then it was done from there. From that point, I was like, okay, I'm doing this and I want to do tentacle dreads. I picked Ammonite, I got Ammonite, and then I started looking for a way to do the shell head. And I found a couple of references where people made it out of Ava foam, but 2 things about that. 1, I didn't really want to do it. 2, I wanted to do something more of a wearable look, like something that looked like if I were to wear it outside, I wouldn't look completely insane. And 3, I didn't want it to be too big because Ammonite is a pre-evolution to Amistar. So there's like a bigger version of Ammonite, if that makes sense, if you aren't familiar with Pokemon. Because I knew that somebody else was gonna be my evolution, I didn't want mine to be too big. And if I made it out of Ava foam, I was probably gonna make it fucking huge. I knew that about myself. So I was like, I wanna make it like reasonably sized. And I kept looking for like shell hats or something like that. And I came across this seller on Etsy who was making shell hats out of crochet. And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, could you make me a hat? I need it in this specific color because she had a bunch for sale on her website already, but none of them were like the color I needed because Ammonite, I needed it to be like that kind of beige color. She was like, oh, I can't actually, she actually had a wrist injury, so she couldn't make any customs right now. So I looked into it a little bit more. I tried to find other sellers selling something similar. It turns out the pattern for that thing was like open source, so you could just get the pattern. I was like, oh, so I could just make it myself. I'm sure I could crochet, but I don't crochet. But I have a friend who crochets, and like he had been showing me a bunch of his stuff lately. He'd been making like sweaters and all this cool shit, and I sent him a picture and I was like, could you make me this as big as you can that's still like, you know, the size of a hat in these specific colors? And he was like, I will try. Spoiler alert, he did, and he did a great job. He sent me my first update in like 2 days after he got all the materials he needed. He's the one who made the hat. His name is Peachy's Crochet. I will tag him in the description. He's great. He made the hat for me because I got a lot of compliments in a hat, and I need you guys to know the hat was my idea, but I did not make the hat. Once that was done, the rest of the outfit was kind of easy to put together. Good morning. It is 10:45 a.m. Call time for the BBNO Money cosplay Pokemon thing. The earliest you can get there is 1. I'm gonna get there early because I want to make content content and I hate being late. This is my cosplay. The clothes are like the least interesting part of this cosplay. So we're gonna get dressed and figure this out. I added like extra shell pieces to like this little wrap to put around my waist. I just wore like some kind of neutral colored clothes to kind of go with the fossil theme and tried to make everything look beachy. I ended up having this other crochet like blue thing that was like perfect. I added that like at the last second, and then just a lot of shell jewelry. Oh, I 3D printed like little ammonites. They were meant to be keychains. I turned them into earrings. Okay, I still need to add my lashes. I think I might actually do it at the shoot. Other than that, everything's on. I wanted to do like a full try on. I'm not gonna walk out the door like this. I still have to take an Uber over to the actual shoot location, but I wanted to try everything on and make sure everything worked, like just in case I have to change anything. Everything looks good. I wanted to show you guys. I made little ammonite earrings and I painted them gold. And yeah, overall, I think it came out really, really cute. I really liked how I looked. Like once I put it on, I was like, wait, this works. This actually works. As I was doing it, I was like, I don't know if this works. But then once it was done, I was like, oh, yeah, this is great. So like I said, I didn't want to deal with crunch. I didn't want to be working on this at the last second, having to finish everything the night before. With love to the other cosplayers involved, y'all were doing stuff the night before, and I was like, I don't want that to be me.
Not me. Certainly not I.
We had a Discord with all the other cosplayers posting updates and stuff, and a lot of them were working up on stuff until like right before, and I was like, I don't want that to be me. So I had finished everything like 2 weeks well before, and then the night before, I was like, I could make a purse that looks like the helix fossil that ammonite comes from. I have like a random purse that I don't care about, and I have foam. And I posted it in the Discord, and they were all like, you got time. You've got one night, do it. And so I did. I made that purse the night before. It ended up falling apart a little bit during the photo shoot, but I am proud of how it looked, and I think it was a good, nice little added touch. So that was how that cosplay went. The Pokemon 151 collab was really fun. It's like one of the most fun cosplay things I've ever gotten to do. There were so many talented people there and so many talented people involved, and I got to meet so many cool people, and we had so much fun. Also, Vanilla Base was there, and Chris and I have been watching Vanilla Base videos a lot more recently, and I got to talk to her, and a lot of you told me that you saw me on her stream, and then she also was just hanging out with Chris up on this weird slide thing that was in the venue at some points. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And I'm sliding down. Something about that is so funny. Good night, have a good one. Just going down a slide. It was very funny. That was really, really fun. So that was on a Monday, and then I left for TwitchCon on Thursday. So in those in-between days, I put the finishing pieces on this cosplay. About 3 weeks before this, we're going back in time a little bit. Back in time to 3 weeks before Cosplay Hell Week, we'll call it. I got an email from TwitchCon saying, okay, we are doing the cosplay show. It's gonna be different though. It's gonna be called Cosplay, exclamation point. It's gonna have BBNO Money and a bunch of variety streamers. It's gonna be like a Japanese game show style thing. Would you like to be involved? And I was like, sure, I'd love more information. And they said, okay, cool. You would be featured on stage as like one of the professional cosplayers while this variety show stuff is happening. And I was like, cool, I'd love some more information. Didn't really get more information, but then I did eventually get confirmed that I was gonna be in it. And I was like, okay, cool. I saw Stella Chu because Stella Chu had me in her cosplay showcase at LA Comic-Con, and I knew she might be involved in this. I was like, oh, are you involved in that? And she's like, yes. And she was like, it's gonna be a lot. Stella Chu was involved in that and the Pokemon thing. She's like, it's gonna be a lot. I'm like, okay. Then at the Pokemon thing, I saw also Jessica Nagiri, who is so sweet and so nice, and I've looked up to her for so long, and when I first spoke to her, she knew who I was, and that freaked me out, but I was very happy about it. Anyway, I asked her, oh, are you gonna be in it? And she was like, yeah. I was like, do you know what we're doing? No. Okay, fast forward to TwitchCon. I saw BB No Money. This was the day before the thing. I was like, hey, what are we doing tomorrow? I'm here with the host of this cosplay show. Could you tell us what we're doing? All right. That's the information we have. He said, you're not supposed to know. So what I wore to TwitchCon at the cosplay showcase was this outfit. Originally, I was gonna wear my own VTuber's outfit, but I had worn that to Stella Chu's cosplay showcase, and I've worn it a lot. People have seen that from me. Basically, what happened is I saw Moe Flavor. They posted a picture of this new collection they had coming out. It had a dress that was very similar to this in its base. So I was like, wait, I could dye that and I could turn that into a cosplay of this outfit. So I did that. It was hard. I had to dye this dress so many times. I dyed it green, then black, then green again to this color. But once we got there, then it was pretty easy. Then I just added a bunch of embellishments and stuff to make it look like this. I would say the hardest part was the dyeing and also this little hip piece. It was annoying to try and recreate in real life. For the most part, everything turned out really great. I was surprised with how well everything was going. I would do one thing and then be surprised that it actually turned out correct. I worked on this basically in the days between the 151 collab and leaving for TwitchCon. Then we left for TwitchCon. Like I said, I asked around about this event. Nobody would tell me what's going on. Here we are, backstage for the cosplay showcase. I am gonna piss myself. There are lots of cool people here that don't scare me. But the actual thing was really cool. It was like a Japanese game show where a bunch of variety streamers were like building cosplays in like 10 minutes and doing all these fun little challenges. And then they had me and a bunch of other cosplayers sitting off to the side as kind of like a judges panel / round table / color commentary thing. I have been told that during the stream, at some point, the camera cut to me and I made a judgmental stank face. And I need to find that clip. I don't know where that clip is. I promise I was having fun. Just some of the challenges were very silly. Since becoming a VTuber, I have become absolutely awful at schooling my expressions. Because if I make a stank face like this, my VTuber doesn't register that much. It just kind of goes blank expression. I forgot that people could see my face. So yeah, but overall, this was really, really fun. I was really excited to be a part of it. Thank you to all the people who were a part of these events. A lot of them were the same people. There was a lot of overlap. So thank you to everybody I met. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, BBNO Money. Oh, also Peach Jars. You were really sweet. I didn't mention you. I don't think I ever got a photo with you, but you were really sweet. Oh, Miss Lala, thank you for inviting me to the 151 one. This was really, really fun and really, really cool. This was one of the like weirdest things that I had back-to-back BBNO Money collabs just by accident. I don't know how we got here, but it was fun and I liked it. That is the story of how I collab with BBNO Money twice in 1 week. Okay, that's it. I just thought that was a fun thing that happened and I wanted to share it with you guys. Bye!